Hello friends, I'm Phoebe. Welcome to my music discovery journey. We are catching up with some Holding Absence today. Reflection is the next track after Whisper of a Dream, where we saw Phoebeofftv, their new robot mascot thing, and the video was talking about here it says, as quoted, contemplation, sentience, and dreaming in an ever-evolving world. There was also mention of like AI and how that's not very good. They were drawing heavily from cyberpunk media, and it looked quite futuristic. It looked quite interesting. Lucas, his vocals are insanely good. I've really enjoyed them with Holding Absence, but also more recently he joined Funeral for a Friend and has become their vocalist over the last 3 years. I didn't know it was 3 years that he'd been with them so far, but I saw him at 2000 Trees with them, with Funeral for a Friend. And it was quite nostalgic, but also new and exciting because of having a new vocalist, and he fits the part perfectly. He does some great vocals. Some of them aren't identical to what we had before, but that's okay. His voice just works so well with them, and I really liked that. But anyway, let's check out Reflection and see what more mystery we're going to find, shall we? It's 3 minutes 46. Futuristic kind of. Looks like we got a Smurf, a smoking Smurf. Also, love how that just crashed in like that. Really nice drums, guitars, synths. It's about self-love. If I don't learn to love my own reflection. So to move forward, I have to learn to love myself. Otherwise, it's not going to work out. I love how it came crashing through. There was a little bit of a distant vocal, if I don't learn to love my own reflection. I didn't even hear that that's what it said. I was more focusing on the Smurf. I don't know if they're smoky or if it was a lollipop or something in their mouth, but they seem to be tapping into something, perhaps. We did see Phoebeofftv, and we've got a projector that they're performing in front of with some visuals of nature, water, I think. He's lost. It says vulnerable again. The devil made me deaf. Now every angel's wing is clipped and bent. So vulnerable again suggests that he's been in this place before. He's lost himself. He doesn't know how to deal with it. He's allowed the dark demons, voices in his head to fool him into believing that whatever negative things they're saying, like that angel on one side, devil on the other side of his shoulder, or one shoulder and other shoulder, and one saying bad things and one saying good things. But saying the devil made me deaf is kind of like selective hearing, almost believing these false accusations that the dark side are telling you, and then not being able to hear the good, the light side. Every angel's wing is clipped and bent. That's quite a good way of articulating it. I think the petals on my heart are folding in. I could never find a cure. That suggests closing up, your heart being this warm space that if you open it up, it can bloom into something amazing. But this is saying that it's died. This plant, this flower is closing up and it's not wanting to be open anymore. It's been hurt, or something has caused it to feel numb, cold, sad. That could be a number of different scenarios. I could never find a cure. I couldn't fix it. I couldn't find a solution. Open the doors and let me in. This is the chorus. I'm ready to hurt and heal again. Open the doors and let me in. Is he saying this to himself? I think. I'm ready to hurt and heal again. When you're going through something really difficult, to get to the other side, you have to go through it. That's not always easy, and some people don't want to face that. Some people want to stay in denial for a bit, or just ignore the fact that it's happening, or just distract themselves, because no one wants to face a difficult and tough situation. But he's ready. He's processed it a bit, I think, and he's ready to feel motivated and see what the future has in store. So I'm ready to hurt and heal again, because you got to hurt before you can heal. And so he's going to face it. I'll never find myself in the end if I don't learn to love my own reflection. That's quite beautiful. I've lost myself. I can't possibly feel better if I don't face some hard truths along the way and figure out who I am and what I want from this life and how to go about it without relying on someone else for happiness. Because learning to love yourself is basically that. It's about being happy in your own skin, and to the point where you don't need anyone else. You don't need to have someone else in your life that you love. You can, it's a bonus, but you should focus on you first, because if you can't love yourself, then you can't possibly be ready to love anyone else. That's including friends, family, anyone, because you could self-sabotage, or you could project to others the bad things if you don't get through them, work through those. So that's quite powerful. Let's go through to the second verse, shall we? Love the tone of that, the melody. Oh, it's a different part of the chorus. Ooh, this sounds interesting. So it's like kind of futuristic, distorted or processed vocals in some way that feels quite appropriate in this. I don't always like that, but when it's used in a way that fits in with the theme, I think it's really good. And this sounds that. It seems like wife or Phoebeo, the robot mascot, is looking at a screen that maybe is a bit distorted, not quite clear, because they're trying to find themselves, they're trying to look for themselves. The blue Smurf thing, I don't know what that's about. Looks like they are tapping in. Are they helping them? Are they trying to find something that matches up? Perhaps communicating, I don't know. I really love Lucas's vocals. They're so nice. They're so powerful. You feel the emotion and the everything from the sound. It's just really nice. It's a nice cadence, and the melody is beautiful as well. The verse says cynical again, cynical again. So feeling doubtful, not believing certain things. I guess you're in a spot of difficulty, darkness, and is it worth getting out? Is this going to be pointless? What is the point? Still waiting to ascend, but every ladder up is missing steps. That's a really good way of articulating the fact that there are hurdles. You want to climb back up from this dark place. You want to climb back up into the light and find happiness, or at least be content with life. But on this ladder, this journey, there are steps missing, which kind of suggests that if you want to get higher, you gotta somehow reach the next step, even if it's a bigger jump. That's so well articulated when it comes to life. Sometimes moving forward isn't always going to be linear or the same level of difficulty. It can be harder, it can be easier. There are a number of steps. There are so many steps to where you want to be, perhaps. And so that's really cool that if there might be steps missing, there's hurdles along the way, and you got to figure that out, or create those steps for yourself, fill in those gaps somehow, right? You've got to find the solution, figure it out. And that's kind of what they're saying here. I think the petals of my heart are folding in. I think I could never find a cure or medicine. So they started with the first pre-chorus of, I think the petals of my heart are folding in, I can never find a cure. Now he's saying all medicine. So he's kind of saying that he's explored multiple avenues, I would say. They cut me open like a godless mannequin, still feeling numb. They cut me open. So whoever has hurt him, or he's felt used, they've taken from him, which is why he's lost himself, or feels like a shell of himself or something. A godless mannequin, is that them? Or he's saying that he seems like a godless mannequin, like this person with no soul, this puppet, this thing that has no substance. And then still feeling numb. So yeah, when you go through these awful situations, there are a number of ways that you can feel, a number of emotions that you go through. Some could be this immense pain. Some can be when you've kind of had enough, or you're fed up, you can feel numb to it all. And it's kind of a way to protect yourself from hurting more, I would say. It's saying that's where he's at the moment, still feeling numb about it. Then the chorus, so they extend the chorus. They've gone from open the doors and let me in, I'm ready to hurt and heal again. I'll never find myself in the end if I don't learn to love my own. Instead of saying reflection, it starts the chorus again. But it says open the doors and let me in, I'm ready to face the mirror again. So instead of hurt and heal, facing the mirror, facing myself, facing the hard truths, and figuring out what I can do about it, rather than ignoring them, hoping it goes away, running away from them, etc. Ready to face it. And that's quite a big step for anybody. I'll never find myself in the end if I don't learn to love my own reflection. How can I move forward if I don't figure this out and learn to love myself? Well, I won't. I'm not going to feel good if I don't feel good about myself. And then we've got some interesting sounds here. I've already liked it, but can't like it again. Starts. that breakdown or? Nice change up with the guitar. Aww. Oh. I thought it was over. No way have they just... They left us on a cliffhanger. I'm sorry. Before I need to go back. What the fuck? How cool were those vocals? I love it. Yeah, those guitars sound good, drums sound good, vocals sound great. Steamboat Willie. It's a rocket. Oh, it's become clear. What? Oh. Reflection. Makes sense. So she's at the end. Why is she at the end? Perhaps it was just communicating with him and helping? Sometimes to get through a difficult situation, we can be helped by others. People can help us. Even if it's trying to learn to love ourselves, people can help partially towards that. And maybe that's why. Unless Y4 is her, but I don't think it is. But so the visuals, yeah, they were, I'm not sure. Y4 was kind of like a, not everyone lived in the times where you had to tune into the aerial for TV, but you're tuning in and not quite finding the right signal, and then suddenly the reflection of the water, at least, was showing when the water was on the screen. That I didn't notice that on the first watch, so I'm glad I went back. The not breakdown style, I don't know, but the scream, wow, that was so good. I felt like there were so many things that happened. I didn't know what was coming next. I thought it was finished, and then it started up again. And then they left us on a cliffhanger without even finishing the word. That was pretty damn cool. It feels very Holding Absence, but like different in a good way. They've experimented. There's so many more layers to them. There's depth to this for sure, and there's this feeling of modern futuristic weirdness that I'm intrigued by. The weird bit, so it started saying, I let the glass crack. I dropped the ball. You know the idiom, I dropped the ball? I lost my focus on the thing that I was supposed to be doing. You're supposed to hold the ball, but if you drop it, you're like, oh shit, I was supposed to keep focused on that. And I lost my way is such a good way of articulating warping my perception as well. So like you lost sight of what you should have not lost sight on. What you shouldn't have lost sight on, you lost sight, and it made you see things in a different way that wasn't good. It warped my perception, means like I was seeing the world through rose-tinted glasses. It wasn't right. And now we're like this. Put back the fractures and build a better shell. Oh, that's what he shouted, shell. So he's a shell of himself, or the shell is cracked. This outer protection has cracked. Or talking about a person being broken, it doesn't mean you can't put yourself back together. Even if some pieces are lost, good riddance. But sometimes you can build yourself back to a better version. If people look at a vase that is cracked, you're going to lose tiny pieces, but you can glue that vase back together. It will look different, but you could put different coloured glue in there. You could add glitter. You could add all these wonderful things that weren't there before. You can add on to it. It doesn't have to be whatever it was made of in the first place. Glass cracks. You could add other bits in there. And it's kind of the same sort of thing for building as a person. There are parts of me that I've left in the past. There are parts of me that I didn't want anymore. There are parts that I've learned from and matured from. And so that's saying, like, you just because you've lost yourself or you feel broken, you can become a better you. And that's really difficult to hear when you're in a dark place, because no one really wants to come out of it at the time when you're in it. You do, but you don't know how, and there's no motivation there. But I think it's really good to know that you can come out of it, and despite it being difficult, it's possible. And that's the hard thing to understand when you're in a bad place. But build a better shell. That's really nice. Coming to grips with everything changing, I transmutated, can't go back now. Kind of along the same lines. I'm coming to grips with everything changing means I'm ready now, and I'm processing it all, and it takes some getting used to, but I'm okay with it. I'm learning to accept it. I might not be okay with it at first, and it might be very difficult. And, I still think about the past and how it was and the good things I want from that. But thinking about the bad things, knowing that it wasn't right for me, but this could be going forward, and I have to get to grips with it and come to terms with that. That's quite a healthy mindset. Difficult, but it's possible once again. I transmutated, can't go back now. So we've moved on, we've evolved. And the past has to stay there. And we can only take what we want to move forward that will help us in a healthy way. That's really nice. In the background, there's backing vocals, coming to grips with, and he says, at what cost? Everything changing to evolve. So at what cost to evolve? What have you left behind? What have you lost in progressing? And sometimes it feels like a lot, but what you have to gain can be greater. You don't know unless you try, and that's the hardest part as well, just giving it a go, because things will feel different. That doesn't mean they have to feel bad. Not everyone likes change, and that's okay, but sometimes it has to happen as a necessity, and we don't realize it's good for us until maybe after. Anyway, thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Then we have the final chorus, and I love that he does the chorus. Is it, if I don't learn to love my own, I think it's ended, then pause, and then reflection. And then there's like the weird, I don't know what it is. I'll have to show you it. Oh, also, we had a Steamboat Willie, like... Steamboat Willie, nice. the rocket launch as well. It's quite wholesome. And the guitar change. His vocals are exceptional. And he loves it. Oh. That bit. That's the bit. What was that? I don't know what this is about at the end, but that's okay. That's okay. That's really, really cool. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to me ramble on. I really appreciate it. If you want to join Patreon, it's £1 to get your name on my supporter tier at the end of my videos. That's on the right hand side. If you want to join VIP and premium supporters, that gets you a song request each month, which is the best value and the best turnaround time that you can get. You can also join Ko-fi and request there at any time of the month. No pressure at all. Your time is the most precious thing, and thank you so much for 26 minutes plus of your time. I will see you for another one soon. Please make sure you've subscribed and liked, because every little helps. Commenting boosts the video. Take care. See you soon, I hope. Bye bye.